showtime.
Dynamite Download.
Welcome to Dynamite Download, your source for positive coverage of all elite wrestling.
This is what pro wrestling should feel like.
Oh, you guys, positive energy.
I think that created a little moment in itself.
You're saying I have a better record than Kenny Omega and Samoa Joe, and now I'm going to have to wrestle them.
I've never seen someone able to break down like wrestling like he does.
Mariah May, boom.
My real story does connect with a lot of people.
That you need to be careful in the locker room.
I definitely think that women's wrestling has been elevated.
I was like deep diving into like cults.
I never say never about anything.
Yeah.
Raw horse.
Raw horse?
Oh my god!
Amazing.
I had to smack him around a few times to fully gain his respect.
This is Frankie's match.
Awesome.
This podcast is quite frankly the drizzling shit, if I'm being quite honest.
Did they spread positivity about AEW?
Welcome to Dynamite Download.
This thing on? Check. What's up, everybody? It's SPD. I know you're used to seeing mine and Mine Runner's smiling faces side by side, but unfortunately I had some last minute work things pop up, and mine's going to be holding it down with some special guests tonight. So enjoy Dynamite Download episode 168. Last night was an outstanding episode of Dynamite. We're going to discuss our top performers of the night, and I'm just going to take a moment and bask in the glory of still sitting at the top of the standings of Dynamite Download Season 5 Fantasy Draft. So hope you guys have a great discussion. Tune in and stay tuned for SPD's Hot Take of the Night, which will air a little bit later in our show. And welcome to Dynamite Download, everyone.
And indeed, welcome to Dynamite Download. The Dynamite Download crew is here. I'm talking about our special guest joining me tonight, none other than the crew. I've got two words for you. Dynamite sticks up. Dynamite Club Gold in the house. Yeah. I am known as the Mind Runner, the Mizzler, if you will. But of course, we've got Miss the Queen of Heels herself, Miss Courtney. Hello. How are you over here? Hey. And of course, the man with the brain on all things wrestling. This dude has got it all going on with his Optimus Prime R2-D2 mashup behind him and Skeletor. It is Brent Ross. What's going on? Welcome to the limelight.
I'm living it.
Universal Beam. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, super excited. Yes, SBD with all his braggadociousness, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But the Dynamite Club Gold crew is running it tonight. What an awesome Dynamite. There's some interesting stuff going on. I've got some thought-provoking questions to ask my Dynamite Club Gold team members, and as well as in the chat, just saying, hey, everybody, BR is in the chat. We got Mike in the chat. What up, Metal War? We've got a DM221. Hello. BR in the chat. The Raz. We got Raz in the chat. Full Tilt Deb is in the chat. Bless her heart. Our condolences. And of course, Steven is definitely in the chat.
Yes.
There's going to be all kinds of stuff. Without further ado, let's get to the rankings. What a week we've already had so far. This is turning out to be quite the draft. Let's get to it. Blowing everybody's mind. What a difference a week can make, even with only 2 shows, Dynamite and Collision, no more Rampage. Look at how the tables have turned. SBD tied with Steven at first place. Courtney and Midrunner tied at second or arguably third place. Brent and Brian, both of the former leftover takers, are now battling it out in the cemetery with Crayfish. Bobby and FTD are battling it out. What incredible battle here. I'm going to go to Brent first. Brent, what are your thoughts so far of how this draft has started out?
It's been pretty crazy. I'm doing a lot better than I thought I was going to be doing. So I'm pretty good with where I'm standing. But like it's I think the Rampage, I'm actually missing Rampage a whole bunch. I know some people probably don't care, but it was like a Friday routine for me, and we got to see more wrestlers on Rampage too. But the draft's nuts. It's going to be anybody's game, I think.
Yeah, when there's only 4 points between last place and first place, it's anybody's game. Courtney, what do you think? Are you missing Rampage, picking up those extra couple points, or are you liking the parity this time?
I'm like Brent. I miss Rampage because when I called it just like when we used to have Dark and Elevation on YouTube in there all the time watching those matches. I miss it because it's opportunities for our talent to get their faces out there and bring in new faces to the fan base.
Absolutely. And, I also I do actually miss a little bit of the Elevation and Dark, more so because it's really got a chance to showcase a lot of the independent talent. I mean, there's a lot of independent talent. Heck, there's a lot of Mission Pro wrestlers that I got to know just because, obviously Thunder was kind of open the door and said, come on. But there were quite a few, like Viva Van, there's so many, but I think that's kind of Ring of Honor may have replaced that. But what an incredible parody here. Of course, we're going all the way to Double or Nothing. I think we're going to have a moment after Revolution, I think, is when we're going to pick the remaining wrestlers to fill out our bracket. Interesting strategies that are and are not working too, and we'll talk a little bit that as we talk about this last night on Dynamite. And interesting that there's some wrestlers that are getting some wins that nobody picked up. So I think that's like Yuka Sakazaki and MVP stepping into the ring too. So we'll talk about that. But let's talk about last night's Dynamite. I'll start with you, Courtney. Overall, just real quick, right off the shoot from the hip, because that's how we do it down in my Club Gold. How do you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 or stars, whatever your Courtney rating system is? How many waves of the wand do you have for last night's Dynamite?
Well, see, I deduct points for crowd reactions as well. So I take the crowd into consideration on this one. So I gave it a solid 2.
Okay. All right, a solid 2. Now, again, to translate for our Dynamite Club Galaxy here, the Dynamite Galaxy universe, Courtney has a very high standard.
Yes.
So, she's like Tokyo. It's got to be in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Like, for it to get even to close to a 5, it's got to be Tokyo Dome top level. She's worse than Meltzer when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm going to start calling you Courtney Meltzer.
Oh, God, please don't.
Brent, what are your thoughts?
I think overall as a show, if I'm going to go out of 10, I might say about a 6.
Okay. I agree. It wasn't the best Dynamite. I don't think this was kind of a cog Dynamite, if you will. I was surprised at how few matches there were, but we'll get into each one of them. Also, we definitely there's a lot of promos, some interesting cinematic promos we're starting to see more of, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But let's get right to it opened up Will Ospreay versus Brian Cage. Kind of a difference in styles. We had Don Callis at ringside and also the Murder Hawk. Brent, how are you? First of all, how did you feel about this match? How are you feeling about Murder Machines, the way that Brian Cage and Murder Hawk are being presented with Don Callis, this whole Callis family? And how did you feel about this match?
I think I really like the Callis family right now. The Murder Machines I think they're great muscle, for backup for them. Both of those guys are amazing. I mean, Brian Cage, I think he can wrestle anybody, and he just looks great. His moveset's amazing. He's so agile as a huge, big guy wrestling. I think he's like the total package. It'd be nice to see him get some more wins.
Yeah.
But I think just seeing him in action always makes his matches exciting. I mean, that suplex that he caught and walked around, I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, and even it just seemed, I mean, it was like he brought him over to Callis, like, here you go, here's your guy. Courtney Stevens doesn't like me comparing you to Dave Meltzer, so should I call you Courtney Hawani, like Ariel Hawani instead?
Who the crap is that?
Oh, good. In fact, you don't need to know. That's a name. How about Cornette? Courtney Cornette.
Cornette.
Oh God, I guess.
No, we'll stick with Holland. But your thoughts on this match, though? Let's keep it. We'll keep it positive here. We don't need to go that route. We're nothing like those clowns.
No.
Let's. What are your thoughts on this match and the Callis family here?
Can I just say, I keep falling in love with Don Callis' family. Okay, even though we got some members that are MIA, like Trent Beretta.
Spoken like a true heel, by the way. Spoken like a true heel.
I am your favorite heel. But I love this pairing of Brian Cage and Lance Archer. How about we rev up the tag team division? Hey, even let them run with the tag team title for a little bit, because I think it would actually do some good for the Hurt Syndicate.
I've heard him both ways.
I almost said business. They would be great challengers for Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
Well, in the chat, they're asking for backup. Steven says Omega and Ospreay need backup. One word, Kota. Is this setting up Kota Ibushi to show up and give backup to Kenny and Will Ospreay, Courtney, and then Brent? And I want to also know, tell us in the chat, they mentioned Don Callis had this promo last week, that there is another member. Is it Trent Beretta that they're referring to, or could there be another future new signee, new debut showing up to join the Don Callis family at this point? Courtney, what are your thoughts on who's going to help Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, and who is going to be the number 6 in the Don Callis family?
All right. So the number 6 for Don Callis family, I love them to death, and I would love to see more of them on television. And we hadn't seen this fella in quite a while. How about I call him War Daddy, and y'all call him Warlow? How about we throw Warlow in the mix instead of Trent? Because I know Trent is still healing from his injury and his surgery. By the way, get well, Trent. We love you. But I absolutely love the Callis family. And I do see like the Callis family getting a lot of gold in the future too.
Mm-hmm.
You could even have trios titles on them if you want, or
if they mean anything, trios titles, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the trios titles in God knows how long, because I don't know why they took them off of Bullet Club Gold to just give them to the people that never showed them.
Yep.
Overrated.
But
what are they called again?
I know those guys, but I gotta ask you real quick. You're suggesting Wardlow join the Callis family. So are you suggesting? I may not be mad at this. I mean, I want Wardlow to have more of a singles run. I hate to keep putting him in factions, but you're thinking Wardlow, Murderhawk, Brian Cage, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher. That is an army. Like, I mean, that's like that is quite the army. Brent, your thoughts? I mean, what's Callis got up his sleeve, and who's going to be the cavalry for Kenny? And will there be one?
I kind of think maybe Okada might be the next member, since he's kind of like flying solo right now.
Yeah, no Bucks.
And I kind of think that maybe the Bucks come back and help out Kenny.
Well, it's interesting because if you look at the numbers, right? If there's going to be the four wrestler, if there's going to be five wrestlers, if Trent doesn't come back, there's going to be Murder Machine, Kyle Fletcher, and Takeshita. That means there's five. You're going to need. You got Kenny, Will, and then if you bring the Bucks and Okada, that's 5-on-5. You might have a Callis versus EVP kind of, maybe a blood and guts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Interesting. Steven Chambers said in the chat, he says Gabe Kidd, his contract in New Japan is almost up. That would be quite interesting. I mean, his match with Kenny Omega was epic. Also, I understand that Speedball Mike Bailey is a free agent. So that might be somebody that shows up at some point. Gonna have to see. Let's move on to let's talk a little bit about Ricochet versus AR Fox. Now, first of all, I want to just say I want to give AR Fox his flowers. This is a dude, he's been in the business for more than a minute. This dude has actually trained a lot of the wrestlers that we see in all companies. He's a veteran. He is the king of this he does these forward flips that I'm afraid he's going to land on his neck. This guy, he's almost like liquid metal a lot of times, and especially in this match, I think he was. Now, granted, a lot of this is Ricochet being his heel character, but AR Fox was almost, I don't want to say he wasn't making Ricochet look bad, but he was outpacing him, and Ricochet was clearly looking worried to the point there were a couple times where he was like, now I think that was Ricochet playing up his heel character. But definitely, I thought AR Fox looked tremendous. He did with his match with Swerve. He looked tremendous. But in this match, he really shone. I want to see more of him. Brent, what are your thoughts on this match in the aftermath?
Well, I believe all three of these guys are in Lucha Underground.
Yes. Yes.
Which, I watched when it was on. So, and then that's one reason I think I love AEW so much. I mean, a lot of those people from Lucha Underground, made their way to AEW, which I think is amazing. All three of these guys are like top drawer. I mean, geez, oh man. I mean, their matches are phenomenal, and they just keep getting better and better. So you could give me a combination of any of these guys all day long, and I'd love it.
Absolutely. I mean, just any combination. I would throw Darby in there. Heck, throw Hologram in there, even though Hologram is healed. I think he's rebooted. I think he had a virus, or he had to reboot. He had a Windows update.
Yeah.
He had a Windows update. Courtney, your takeaways from the AR Fox Ricochet match, this feud with Ricochet, and is Ricochet doing his best work right now?
Well, I will say something controversial, as I do, being
No, not Courtney.
no, not I. But yes, it's good to see Ricochet actually out of catering and actually getting TV time. Yeah, I said it.
Yes, you did.
And we are known for the best wrestler, are we not?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So, but real quick, I want to give AR Fox his flowers. Not only was he a human shield, and Swerve's coming for your ass, and I hope he gets you. But man, that match, and it's almost like, oh, let's see, AR Fox is like the silver dude in the Terminator. That's what I say.
Liquid Metal. He was T1000. Absolutely,
he's amazing at what he does. So I just want to shout out again, AR Fox, not taking anything away from Ricochet and Swerve, but we need to see more AR Fox on our TV.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Courtney needs her own, like when she's about to do something controversial. We need some kind of music like Courtney H. Courtney says something like that. Yeah, we'll come up with something like, what does the fox say? Here we go.
Yes.
What does the fox say?
Nice.
Gotta point out,
nice, Steven.
I gotta point out that I hope they never do anything to destroy the dynamic between Swerve and Nana, because Swerve he's all business serious, and even like no matter what Nana's mood, he's still gonna do the dance, and he's doing the Swerve dance, and he's just scowling down. He's giving Ricochet the stink eye, but he's still doing his Swerve dance. I love that. I love that. He's a national treasure. Prince Nana needs to be protected at all costs.
You can get his copy today at Prince.
I want to, before I say anything about it, I want to get y'all's opinions, both on Jeff Jarrett, his match with Claudio, this feud with MJF, and then they're also MJF kind of involved with Hangman here. They're kind of teasing a Hangman MJF something. Courtney, first of all, Jeff Jarrett and MJF, Jeff Jarrett and Claudio's match.
Can I just say how much I have appreciated Jeff Jarrett in his whole career? Woo! It's all
Woo!
I got that. I love Jeff Jarrett. I love what he's doing. Even though he might be hanging up his boots, he's gonna still be helping the younger people out. He's always putting others over, and I think this is gonna lead to a new tag team, which is gonna involve MJF and Double J as tag team partners.
Interesting. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't see that. I haven't even thought of that.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I don't. I mean, MJF did do the tag team thing with Adam Cole. I don't know if he's ready for that, but could be. Britt, your thoughts on this whole thing with MJF and Jeff Jarrett, and what are they kind of trying to pivot? Or are they still kind of pushing this feud? What do you think's going on with this whole thing?
I've never been a Jeff Jarrett fan. He's kind of winning me over a little bit though. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying. I actually thought he was going to win, and I'm glad he didn't. I don't know why he gave Claudio such a hard time, and they had to have like the whole, Death Riders help him. And he's like a 57-year-old guy. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it. I like Courtney's idea. I never, didn't think of that. And then I could see maybe MJF turning on Double J, but it's kind of strange to me what's going on here. I love Hangman. I think he should be world champion. I don't know what he's clowning around these guys for. So, I mean, this is probably one of my least favorite things going on right now in AEW. But like, who knows? I mean, it could turn around. I'm interested now that he lost. Like, what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
And like maybe that's where MJF comes in and tries to help him out and maybe takes out the Death Riders. But like, there's so much intertwining going on between like the Death Riders, which I kind of like, where like they're not just like with they're all over the place. I'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna really dump on it, but I'm curious.
We do try to keep it positive here, but we definitely we don't do toxic positivity. We're open to criticize as needed. Like you said, if it's not popping for you, it's not popping for you. I mean, that's a true fan response.
But like I said, like Jeff Jarrett, I never thought I'd say that. He's kind of growing on me.
Yeah.
I was and I've, like I said, even from like whenever I first saw him when I was like 12, like I just thought he was like a Ric Flair wannabe.
Yeah.
So I always kind of picture him.
Ric Flair, Timu Ric Flair,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ric Flair from Wish.com.
Yeah.
We've got Ric Flair at home. I felt last night I was a little bit ticked, and I made a point to Full Tilt last night about where is Jay Lethal? You've got the entire Death Riders coming to kill you. Where's your giants? Where's
Satnam Singh?
Anybody want a peanut? I mean, Satnam Singh's hand is bigger than Claudio's head. He could just go, where is his crew? Of course, I'm also hoping that we see Black Machismo again very soon. I'm hoping that will come out though. But I'm going to real quick before we move on, because I didn't want to spend that much time on this, but I want to take Courtney's idea. But I'm going to swap out MJF. Okay. What if this is going to turn into a tag team of the Last Outlaws, Jeff Jarrett and Hangman? As a team. Now, if you ever saw the original Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movie, it has a lot to be desired. However, there's a scene where he and the original Ghost Rider, I think he was played by Sam Elliott, was on a horse, and he's on the motorcycle, and the other guy's on the horse, and they got the da 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 da. Yeah, they had that scene. If you have Jeff Jarrett and Hangman, and almost kind of a passing the torch that Hanger's going to become the new outlaw, I don't know. There's just that could be something. That's something I could get behind. And thank you, honey. My Full Tilt Deb is behind that. But the overbooking by Mindrunner, the Last Outlaws, I think that would actually be pretty cool. Dressing like JBL, riding horses, but question, Steven, would Hanger be Haas? And would that make MJF be Little Joe? now, if MJF with a cowboy hat needs to happen, I mean, now that needs to happen, because I think that would be tremendous. All right, I want to ask you. We shoot honest here. We're huge AEW fans. We've loved this show from jump. They brought us a lot of us back from wrestling. I love Private Party. I really wish they had a better tag team run. I love Hurt Syndicate as the tag team champions. Why does it feel like the tag team division is being treated like the busboy at Hooters? Brent, what are your thoughts?
That's funny you say that, because I was going to say this a couple segments ago when Courtney brought up the Trios tag team. I think the Trios belts, when they introduced them, degraded the tag team division.
Yep.
I think you either have to have. I think they should just not bring back the Trios championships, because I think it takes away time from the tag division, because then you're having way more groups that could be tag teams or they could be trios, and I think it takes value away from the belts. I think they need to focus on one of them, and it's easier with tag teams.
Yeah.
I think they should just, drop the trios, keep the tag belts, and like they should have these guys like run amok on the division. Like,
oh yeah,
I felt the same way you did. I was super excited when Private Party won, and then, but man, am I pumped for these guys now?
yes.
I think a lot of times AEW doesn't pull the trigger when they should on, popularity wise, when the crowd really wants somebody. And I think these guys are like each week are getting more and more and more over.
Oh,
and yeah. I think putting the belts on them right now is great. I don't know if you guys watched the Hey AEW with RJ City with them on Sunday. Man, did I didn't know much about Bobby Lashley before he came into AEW. I mean, I know of him, but when I wasn't watching WWE when he was in it, like the several times he was there, and I never caught him in TNA or anything. But man, watching RJ interview him, I loved it. I thought I was like, I'm a Bobby Lashley fan now.
Oh,
like
tremendous.
Yeah. So like, and they're both great in the ring, and like, an MVP is just amazing. Like I'm all for these guys.
Love them. And I'm not bashing WWE, and actually, it does sound like WWE is really cooking a lot better now. But I don't think they ever got the chance to really do what they wanted to do as the Hurt Business. I love how they've built this up. They introduced MVP first. Then we got to see Shelton be Shelton before Bobby even showed up. And again, I love it because Shelton, with you cover up Bobby, Shelton looks big. But then you see Bobby and it's like Shelton's like the middle bear. But I love this. I'm excited. Courtney, is the Hurt Syndicate gonna help save the tag team division? And what else needs to happen?
Well, as much as I'm giving Private Party their due because they deserve their flowers are well overdue. They're a great tag team, and I'm taking nothing from them at all. They made history too. As they did. But they're beefier men like Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and Vontavious Porter just kiss y'all, okay? Hurt Business 2.0, as I like to call them, okay?
You mad at that?
I hope they put the whole division on notice and also bring back the tag team champions. Bring back the tag team wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I agree with Brent there. There has been, since the trios titles, don't get me wrong, I love the trios titles and everything, but the trios titles has hurt the tag team division so much, and you can really tell it by a fan.
Yeah. I just am looking here. There wasn't a single tag team match last night. There wasn't a single tag team match like that, and that's insane. Not even a 6-man or a trios or anything. Nothing. I don't understand if there's what the deal is with that. You should at least have something to perpetuate. At least like Outrunners versus not even a squash match. Brent, you were about to say something?
No, I was just kind of agreeing with. I didn't even realize that until you said that, and I think maybe that's why the show might have felt like there was something missing, because it's just repetitive. If you're just getting all singles matches, it just didn't feel. It just kind of maybe, I don't know. I didn't want to say it was boring because the wrestling was really good, but there was just something that like it just, I don't know and maybe that's what it is. There wasn't enough diversity.
Yeah, something was missing. It did seem like it was very one note. Like it was versus like a cacophony, whatever you call it. But speaking of missing, I'm missing these guys, and we got a little taste of these guys coming back. First, the Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta needs a better haircut than me. He needs a better haircut than I do with this stuff. His match with Jay White, of course, whenever Yuta is in a singles match with someone like Jay White, I don't feel like he's gonna win. I'm pretty sure that Yuta's gonna take the pin. But of course, this is setting up Jay White's involvement with the whole Death Riders story. I want to talk about that match, but I also want to talk about the hint that there was a special, almost like a cinematic of the Guns coming back. But what was interesting is it didn't seem to tie them into the Bang Bang Gang much. I don't know if Juice is still injured or not, but I miss the Bang Bang Gang. Bang Bang Gang versus Death Riders would be very compelling. I hope we see these guys back. Courtney, your thoughts on the match? Yuta versus Jay White, the aftermath, rated FTR coming in for the save, and the Bang Bang Gang. Where are they?
The Bang Bang Gang, they're coming back because I've been watching their social medias. They are working out hard. They even might have a Preston Vance, I don't know, in their workout with them.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's all up in the air right now, but that's what I've been following. Yuta, Death Riders, I'm so over the Death Riders. Okay, they're overrated. Again, controversial, I know, but I'm honest to a T.
Yeah, to a T. Courtney H with her comment.
But yeah, Jay White getting his ass handed to him, I didn't like that because to me this is Jay White from New Japan, the Switchblade. We saw the Switchblade in the beginning of his AEW career, but where are you now? You stick him with the Death Riders and it does absolutely nothing. I'm being real, I'm being honest. Okay. And I miss Juice Robertson. Let the juice loose.
Let the juice loose. Well, before I get to Brent letting the juice loose, is this a private chat party?
Oh my God, is that a private chat party?
All right. Thank you, BR, in the chat. Of course, if you like what you're listening to, if you're feeling part of the Dynamite Download Galaxy, kick us down that super chat. We've got a whole bunch. We are actually going next week. I think we're going to debut a new super chat, but I just wanted to honor the former tag team champions right there. Yes, we do. We're going to need a new super chat theme. I've got some ideas, and the Full Tilt Deb has got some. Thank you, BR. And BR with I love me some Jay White. But yeah, it needs to change it up a bit. I think something needs to happen. Hopefully we'll see that going on. Brent, your thoughts on Jay White and the Gun Club, Juice, and this whole Death Riders thing? Are we overdosing on Death Riders?
Yes, we are. And I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people, at least what I'm hearing,
yeah.
I think everyone's just kind of confused. I think there's been mixed messages with them in general. I think Juice, did he like break his leg or something?
I don't know if he broke his leg, but he's out. He's been out for a while.
Yeah, I can't remember what the injury was, but it was pretty bad, I believe. Which is unfortunate because I think he just came back from a big injury. But I think they're separating the Guns and the Bullet Club. I think if that's going to be hard to say when Juice comes back. I don't know if he's going to come back with Jay White. I think did they announce at the Australia show? I forget what it's called. Is Jay White going to take on Moxley?
It's Grand Slam. I don't know if they've announced anything just yet. about that. There is.
I don't know if I read that somewhere or it was a rumor,
Tony
maybe.
versus Mariah. It could be, but there were people were putting out some false cards too.
Yeah,
like,
I think you're right.
Somebody. So, yeah, there's a lot of we'll have to do. We'll have some research, but we still that's still a little bit away. So maybe they're gonna announce something on Collision after this big melee. BR in the chat thinks Death Riders fizzled out when a lot of people speculate Shane McMahon. Well, you were successfully able to block Shane McMahon from coming in, Brent.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, though it would have, I was catch-22 because I think it would have drew a lot of interest from outside.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of his. But like, what they're doing now, I just don't, because originally, like, the Death Riders came in, they're gonna take over, but they never really took over, and I'm interested to, we got a little bit more from John Moxley with the belt, with that he's bigger than the belt kind of idea. That's why he's not showing it. I wish Hobbs would have won, and they would have just crushed. It just kind of did this like soft reset, like But yeah,
I think they pulled the trigger they pulled the trigger on that match too soon. I think Hobbs should have been for Revolution, and you could have truly called it a revolution. Hobbs should have been like the one thing, just like Moxley was selling it. Hobbs should have been that one wrestler that Moxley was afraid of, and have all these other title defenses, and give Jeff Jarrett the title defense and then beat the crap out of him, and you can still perpetuate that whole thing. But then they should have had Hobbs win just when it looks like he's about to get the Death Rider. He picks up Moxley and spine busters him through the floor, and then he wins the title. He grabs the suitcase from Marina and rips it open with his bare hands. Just have it, you could gimmick it and just have Hobbs just rip the title out of that thing. What an image. What a symbolism of just Hobbs going like that and ripping it out. I would love for that, but yeah, I don't know.
What about this 4 foot tall, fun sized guy? He's a friend of our show. Oh yeah, Marco Stunt.
He's behind the whole thing. He's behind the whole thing. He is the whole time. He's been behind that. Johnny says Chris Christopherson should be the next world champion. I love it. I love it. Good call, Johnny. But speaking of performances of a lifetime, I got to talk about Collision, because we got to see Mariah May had some words, but if you missed Collision, one of the most epic reveals, and I actually felt like overall Collision was I would give it a Courtney 3. This last Collision, that which is a Mindrunner 7 probably. But the best moment, it's worth watching. You got to go back. You can catch it on YouTube, catch it on AEW socials. You got to check out the big reveal. All this time, we thought that Tony Storm, the rookie, had forgotten, was his amnesia, but it was all performance. Tony Storm wins the Oscar, the Emmy, give her all the announcements, and it was revealed that this was the performance of a lifetime. I can't even do it justice, but it was revealed that Tony is going to basically, quote, rip her tits off at Australia. And so that's going to be the match for Grand Slam. Courtney, do you think it's time for Mariah to drop back to Tony? Are you glad Timeless is back? Is this too soon? What are your thoughts?
Well, since I called the other character Clueless,
okay,
Clue actually, and Timeless. Well, Timeless is timeless. Everybody got tired of that too, so there's that for you. But this match is gonna be a banger after banger, because we got Mariah May, who I wish could defend the title a lot more than what she has been doing lately.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta use our champions more, show off the belts more, and I think that's why we're losing viewership too. But good luck to Timeless, because she's gonna need it, because the Slay Bay over here is gonna take it.
Oh, okay. So you're all for the glamour, the Slay Bay. Steven in the chat, though, disagrees, says Tony's winning the title in Australia. What do you think about all this? Timeless is back, Brent. Do you think this is the right move here?
I think so. I think a lot of people have been saying of the past year that she was the best. She's been the best thing that's happened to AEW.
Yes.
Her storyline and her performance. I mean, you know, she was voted the best women's wrestler of the year. I would be shocked if she didn't win, but if she doesn't win, there's going to be some kind of weird shenanigans, and she's going to end up winning sometime soon.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Tony didn't win. Now, where she goes from there will be kind of interesting to see what they do. Because I don't know if they would continue this feud even more. I mean, I don't know if I would even mind it, because they're both great in the ring. And if they're telling a great story here, you know, which it's going to be amazing, I believe. So, I mean, I mean, a lot of people are mad that they did this on Collision, because a lot of people missed it.
Yeah.
But like, why? I don't watch it. Like, I watched it. You guys watched it. Like, you know, like, I think Collision's great. You know.
I think it's kind of like that one time they had a decision happen during picture in picture. They need to do that a couple more times, because it stops you from fast forwarding and skipping things. You know, like if, did you hear what happened on Collision? They actually need to do more of that. And as far as Mariah May, if she loses in Australia, maybe her next feud, she should once again feel the wrath after she's done with the vendetta. Well, I've got more to talk about, but before we get to it, SBD has sent in his special hot take. So without further ado, let me make sure I press the right button. Here is the hot take from SBD.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom.
I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry. Now, all right, here we go. Here is the real button.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to everyone. We bring the boom. Your favorite father and son.
Every afternoon on your FYP.
We'll be bringing the boom around 3:15.
We bring the boom so loud the whole earth shakes.
With double chunk chocolate cookies.
All right, I don't even know if Steven plays Minecraft, but that's what I thought. But all right, let's get to the real SBD hot take.
SPD's hot take of the night. Welcome, everybody. This is my hot take. I had a lot of time to think about this, because there's so many different layers of last night's show. And I'm going to discuss the family, also known as the Don Callis family, because they've been really featured a lot as of late, which has been a lot of fun, because they definitely have quite the arsenal in their repertoire of wrestlers, with Takeshita, Fletcher, the Murder Machines, and Callis hinting at a additional member, whether that be, you know, certain unsigned AEW, Trent returning, maybe a new recruit. You know, I know we've talked about Jack Perry possibly joining the Death Riders, but what if there's a swerve that he joins the Don Callis family? That way, my hot take is, who's going to come to the aid of Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega? Because clearly they are outnumbered and outmanned and outmuscled on a 2 versus 4 level, but there truly isn't any immediate enemies of the family per se that's intertwined with anything. So now this leads me to believe, like, is it going to be someone outside? Is there a special return? But I know it may not be the most popular choice, but I think would be an awesome position to reunite the Elite. Young Bucks return with a huge pop, maybe hinting that they're going to attack Kenny Omega, even though we don't have closure on that story per se. But I just can't think of anyone else that would make the most sense to come to their aid at the moment. They've already had ties with Don Callis' family in the past, and they could right their wrongs with Kenny Omega. If Perry does join, that kind of makes it more intertwined with the story. So in the chat and in your discussion tonight, who would you want to have come to the aid of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay? You know, I really want it to be an impactful group because they're going to need all hands on deck to really take down the family per se. So the Young Bucks would be an awesome re-return because we do miss them on TV, and I think they're a very valuable part of AEW. And so I really want them to return. Now, the easy way would be to have, you know, Mark Davis reinserted or even Briscoe somehow inserted and just some kind of a, you know, help in that sense. But for long-term, bigger booking, I would love to see the Young Bucks come to the aid of Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but that's SPD's pick and hot take of what he wants for the family. Open it up to you guys to discuss. Mind Runner, what do you take of what's going to happen with this family as we start to slowly push towards Grand Slam in almost 2 weeks away? So see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in and miss you all.
And as we have already discussed, of course, those are great stuff. Courtney was saying in the private chat, Eddie Kingston. Yeah, what is Eddie Kingston still? He might still have something to deal with Mox.
Why not?
What do you? Yeah, why not? Absolutely. So
I put Eddie Kingston up in there. It clicked when during the hot take there. So yeah, Eddie Kingston, we miss you. We want to see that badass Eddie Kingston back and healthy. You know,
absolutely. And I don't know if you've been watching his workout video. He's been going through rehab. Dude looks like dude's looking pretty scraggly, but it works for him. You know, I mean, he looks like he climbed out of not Fifth Avenue, out of an alley somewhere, but it's like he looks like he's been sleeping on the streets of New York. But I think he's of Yonkers. But I do think he's a definite wild card in you. I think the pop, if you hear "The World Is Cold," that's going to be tremendous. I got to ask y'all because the three of us are huge fans of the women's division.
Yeah.
And I got to put this out there. This is something that I want to hear everybody's opinion before I say anything, because I am very divided mentally, and in my heart I'm divided on this issue. But I want to ask y'all, CEO or CE no? And let me just preface what I'm asking. Ever since Mercedes Moné has arrived in AEW and then went on to win the TBS championship, on one hand, she's been very divisive, I think, among AEW fans, not just the WWE. Most wrestling fans can love both WWE, AEW. Most people that just watch WWE, most of them really don't have a thoughts about AEW, so they're not going to get angry, but there are trolls and people out there. But I think Mercedes has been divisive because on one hand, she kind of just came in and steamrolled and kind of pushed a lot of other talent out of the way. It feels like she's kind of her own universe. She does have her own team of writers and such. On the other side, though, I do feel like she has brought some more eyes to the division. I feel like she deep down does want to move the division up. And I do feel like she is, as people have said, she's had some terrible matches in AEW, but I've seen some matches with like Chris Statlander, what have you. So I guess what I'm asking, and I will start with Brent and then go to Courtney. CEO or CEO? Has Mercedes Moné up to this point been a overall net positive or overall net negative to the women's division in AEW? Brent, your thoughts?
That's a good question. It's kind of hard to say. Personally, the more I see her in the ring, the more I'm liking her. I mean, I think she's a great wrestler. The Statlander matches were amazing. I think the only bad match she really had was with Britt, and I think it's because Britt was bad. I don't think she could have done much with her, but I don't really have a good opinion of Britt. So, but see, I think initially people thought that she was going to be almost like the savior of AEW. Like she was going to come in and like all these people were just going to start tuning in. And like, I don't know. I don't know what the disconnect was there. Maybe it was she came in too fast, but I think she came in too fast because she was already established. She was already established as a champion. I think did she have the New Japan Strong and then lost it?
She lost it to Willow, and
and then she got it back. But so I don't think she really needed to be built up. I think she could have had a couple matches before, just to be fair. I mean, how fair is wrestling anyway? So to me, that didn't really bother me. I think in general, I don't know what's going on, but I feel that like I don't know if the women's division is taking another back seat. I don't know if it's because Rampage is gone. We're not getting as many matches. I know Collision used to have at least 2, but now it doesn't seem that they're just going back to the 1. I don't know. I just want more. Because look at these ladies on here that Camille just was. I don't know what. I mean, it looks like she's coming back, but that was a disaster. I mean, Thunder Rosa. I don't know if she's taking a little time off. I don't. She had a great year. I mean, geez, she was featured. Deonna Purrazzo. And Deonna Purrazzo. I mean, she's been speaking out, and at least she's getting some more TV time. Harley Cameron's been amazing. I always want to see more Chris Statlander. Where's Riho? She's probably in Japan. Hope she's coming back soon. Same with Willow. Like we see her sparse, and Tay Mello. I think she's ready to go. I mean, we have they talk about the women's NXT women, and they feature them a lot on NXT. Yeah. I wish like I always thought this Fridays, like take a chance, have an all women show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one has done that. Like the viewership might not be great right away, but like you have all these great wrestlers that you could be using, and I just feel like they're just sparsely like matches here and there, except for maybe Tony Storm. I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, it's a little frustrating, but exciting. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like you do too with I think Mercedes Moné though brings kind of some people win. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, I've been enjoying her matches. So
I do think, and I think she's improved. I mean, we can talk about the main event a little bit too. Yuka, I love her to pieces. She's so adorable. But there were points in this match that were a little bit disjointed. But there were also moments in this match that I thought they flowed very well. And there were a couple spots where, like that one spot where she flipped out of the moneymaker and landed, or Yuka flipped out of the moneymaker and landed on her feet. That was tremendous. There was this, the Hurricanranas and all that. I think Yuka is great. I think Mercedes is used to wrestling Japanese wrestlers, so she understands the Joshi. I almost said Yoshi. Sure. It's Yoshi style too. Yeah, Mario style. But I have a feeling, even though she's team heel, I have a feeling I know where Courtney's going. But I want to hear from Courtney, CEO or CEO.
I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry, but I'm really not. Here comes a rant again, or a tangent.
Go for it.
CEO, hell no. Because I'm gonna tell you why, and I've seen this time and time again, and I'm tired of it. I want to see my women represented well, and I want to see my champion defend the champion like they should.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is for you.
Yep.
I have not. Also, I have not seen this woman, Mercedes Monet. Sasha Banks is greater than Mercedes Monet. Okay. Uh,
Interesting.
I have not seen Monet put any talent over at all. Where when she was in WWE, she put talent over. So I don't know what the disconnect is. But for belts, you are not doing it for me. You got very capable women. You even got the ROH women you can showcase during this time. Okay?
I hear you. I hope they keep Athena away from Mercedes at least for a while, because one, they got to grow Ring of Honor, but
yes,
yeah, I don't want that to happen. I don't want Athena losing to Mercedes Moné, not right now, but
no.
mm-mm.
If anything, I'm saying it right now, and y'all mark my words. Athena versus Mercedes Moné. Athena's walking out with the belt.
Oof, I think that would be tremendous.
Yeah.
Steven bringing up Sky Blue coming back, Abaddon. There is. I've said this on the Mission Pro Spotlight show.
Yes,
I feel like NXT has the best booked women's division, but I don't think. What you got there? There we go. Yes, there you go.
Some Jamie Hayter.
Yes, little Jamie Hayter. We didn't have. Yeah, Jamie Hayter. Hayter's gear looks like my couch from the 70s. I still love that moment that Jamie Hayter had with Julia Hart. I just don't I don't know what they're doing. I think that we need, and I'm just like Steven and Deb and everybody, that there was such an anytime they book a match like this as the main event, there's, especially on Dynamite, there's such an opportunity for the next challenger to show up. Like when Yuka lost and Mercedes is celebrating, that was an opportunity. I was waiting for someone's theme song to kick in. And I would have loved if Riho came out. Riho versus Mercedes would be tremendous. Bring back, there's so many people to bring back. Julia Hart, Jamie Hayter. I was hoping for somebody like that. There's another talent that I'm surprised AEW we got to see once and it make a tremendous debut, and we haven't gotten anything since. And I'm talking about the Megasis, Megan Bayne. Megasis making Chris Statlander look like a cruiserweight. I think, this is somebody that I hope AEW invests time in, because I think she could be tremendous. She could be a champion. I don't know. She doesn't talk, but get Stokely or somebody to manage her, but or be a mouthpiece. But what are we doing? If we've got this kind of talent on the roster, it'd be a shame if they're being held down because of something political or something other than good writing. Courtney, your thoughts on Megan Bayne? How would you book her? Tell us in the chat, how would you book Megan Bayne going forward? And then I want to hear from Brent.
All right, so this is how I would book Megan Bayne. Okay, I'll give you a little backstory. Megan Bayne was on a lot of the Elevation and Dark too.
Mm-hmm.
especially during the COVID era. You kept seeing her. You kept seeing Kaya McKenna. Yes, I might be name dropping, but that's
Mhm.
what I'm here for, to give my indie stars their shine as well. Who knows? One day we might see Izzy Moreno up in AEW. Who knows?
Oh, I'd love that.
Yes, but this is how I would book Megan Bain. I would definitely, she would have to earn her due and not just come in like certain people did and it's like, oh, I'm the champion, I'm the CEO. It that don't work for me, sweetheart. You gotta earn your way to the top, and this is somebody who can earn her way to the top. I can see matches with Abaddon and her. I can see matches like Lady Frost and her. I can even see one of my really, really favorite women, and y'all know who I'm talking about because I'm very biased, very partial on this show. Thunder Rosa versus Megan Bain. Give it
Tremendous.
to me. I mean, you don't have to be a champion to put on championship caliber matches. You can just do it on your own. You don't need a championship just to showcase your women. You can showcase your women 2 or 3 matches. Like what, maybe a month or two ago, the women main evented Dynamite. And I love seeing 2 matches for our women, excuse me.
Okay.
But yeah, and y'all know my passion for women's wrestling. I'm always putting people over on my social media. Like I'm always putting our Mission Pro family over because that's what I do. I make them feel good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so yes, I'm very passionate about women's wrestling. And I just can see her going to the top.
But not too soon, right? She's got to earn it.
Not too soon. Take
I
your
like
time.
it. But do you book her? Like, do you make the mistake that they might have made with Jade? Like, or do you make her like a Bainberg, Brent? What do you think? Do you book her to be a dominant force right away? Do you have her distracted by other feuds before she goes for the title, or do you have her be essentially a female Goldberg and just run roughshod and then eventually go for the title?
I was thinking that the Goldberg way. I think because I don't, other than Wardlow, they kind of had that going for them at first, but they really didn't like follow through with it.
Yeah.
I think she's wrestling. Well, they already taped Collision, but I think she's actually wrestling on Collision this week.
Is it a squash? It's a squash or something?
I don't know. I can't remember, but I'm almost positive that she's on the card. But I would, yeah. I mean, that's what I would have done with Camille, which they didn't do.
Yeah.
I would, because like, geez, she was a long running NWA champion. But yeah, I would like do it slowly though, like kind of just like showcase her moves. Maybe do some enhancement matches first, and then slowly work her way up the roster in a dominant fashion. But don't put let it soak in. Not like and she beats like 3 or 4 people and then gets the title. I mean, she'd be a great contender for either the TBS. She might be the person to take Mercedes Moné out.
Or join her. But then again, she's Camille 2.0. Like she's Camille Bain. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No. I think she should change her gimmick and go Bane from Dark Knight Rises. Do you think that you're in charge? That. Do you feel like you're in charge? Yeah, I don't know. No, she's awesome. I think you could really make her a champion, but we will see. All right, well, I want everybody let us know in the chat who your top performer of last night's Dynamite, and Brent and Courtney. I'd like to hear from you, but I will just reveal, as posted late last night by SPD's top performer of the night, Brian Cage. What a tremendous match he had with Will Ospreay. Like we said at the beginning, I think Brent and Courtney both said how Brian Cage can work with anybody. He's very versatile, and just true confessions, he was my other pick. I was deciding between the two. But Brian Cage definitely, I think that was at 30-second hang time suplex he had on Will Ospreay was tremendous. AR Fox was my pick. I just think that he was very underrated. He needs more TV time. I think AR Fox is a wrestler's wrestler. We just need to show the fans what the wrestlers know about him. And it's unfortunate because I feel like we were getting there right before All In, and I guess there was something that prevented him from going All In, so they swerved that storyline. But if we can build him back up or whatever's going on, I think it would be great to see him more on our TV and insert him into some more storylines. He seemed fantastic. Those were my picks. Let's go to Brent, your top Dynamite top performer of last night, and then we'll close out with Courtney.
I really enjoyed the main event. I thought for some reason I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné. I really was digging her outfit. I was getting the Apollo Creed type feel
nice.
from it. But like I said, I think she's just solid in the ring. I mean, Yuka's great too. I thought the match was great. I liked seeing as the main event. I thought that was cool. Anytime you get a women's main event on anything, I think it's special. I thought they did put on a really good match. And I like I said, I was never a huge Sasha Banks fan back when I saw her wrestle in WWE. She's good. She just, I don't know, that she didn't draw me in, but she's drawing me in now, so I'm starting to really appreciate her. And it's going to be epic when she loses, which is going to be cool. So
yeah, that is going to be a pop, and I hope it's hope it drops to the right person.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Steven in the chat says Jeff Jarrett. Okay, I can see that. This dude, he's making it happen. All right, Miss Courtney. Courtney's rant.
Well, my top performer will have to be Don Callis family. They just showed out and showed who was boss last night. I'm giving it to the whole family.
All right. Callis, of course, who takes credit because it's his greatness.
Yes.
But you're giving it to the whole family. I can see that. Awesome show. So again, overall, it's a Courtney 4, which for the rest of us is like a 6 or a 7. But absolutely. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Looking forward to Collision this Saturday. I'm looking forward to see where the rankings are next Thursday. Who's going to be on top? Who's going to be at the bottom? You never know. It's going to be incredible. But on behalf of Miss Queen, Courtney the Heel, Brent the Brain Ross, this is Mind Runner, and we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.